So now this is the fascinating part to me. If you're a Bears fan and you get to pick 10, and Ashton Genty's there, and Tyler Warren's there, and Mason Graham is there, like, we could have 3 or 4 of the top 9 players in the draft still sitting there at 10, and they can only take one of them. So that's going to be the fascinating part of the draft, because I think picks 4, 5, and potentially 6 could go to players that truly, if you go like league consensus on grades, they don't match up with the 4th, 5th, and 6th best player in the draft.
That was a fucking amazing breakdown.
Wow.
Seriously.
Wow.
So I had to get it. Wow.
I want to talk about the Pope. I didn't know Dennis Schroeder was still in the fucking NBA.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah. Have we started? This is.
I was going to say that's a good place to start right there. That's my favorite part about playoff basketball is that late addition of guy you didn't know. Not only is he still in the league, but he's actually like an important part of somebody's operation.
Like Kawhi Leonard. I mean,
man, little throwback Kawhi. Get you right in the plums.
What do we do with Kawhi Leonard, Gojo? Seriously. Like, if he wins, and listen, the Clippers have a chance here, but if, for some reason, they got to the NBA Finals and they win an NBA championship, James Harden and Kawhi Leonard will have 3 NBA championships and presumably be a 3-time Finals MVP. Like, I don't know what to do with the guy.
It would be incredible. He still qualifies to me as the all-time what could have been, because even having a career that's a Hall of Fame worthy career, if you didn't factor in this weird injury that we never quite were able to wrap our arms around, to your point about the trophy count, he could have been in some very interesting range, and we'll just never know now. So I think he's firmly in the what could have been category, even if what is still great.
When you think Nick Killers at Madison Square Garden, you, of course, think Reggie Miller, Trae Young, and Dennis Schroeder. I mean,
the Pistons, baby. How about it?
The Pistons should be up 2-0 in that series. I'm nervous. As a Knicks fan, I am nervous. They make the trade for Karl Anthony Towns, and I'm nervous because I don't think the Knicks are going to get past the Pistons. And if they don't, Tom Thibodeau is gone. See ya.
You're nervous that they're going to get eliminated in this round instead of the next round? Is that their ceiling right now?
I'm nervous for my friend Tom Thibodeau, who I have access to, and I only care about my coaches as long as I have access to them. They could stay forever if I have access to them.
I feel like everyone kind of knew this was going to be the ceiling for this era of Knicks basketball, given the roster and given the coach. But then we got our first taste of the Knicks back in the postseason, whenever it was a few years ago, and everybody liked the way this felt. And all of a sudden, it's so easy to get swept up in the Knicks being good. Like, I was just getting ready to talk about how fun it is to have a good competitive Pistons team again, because they seem to always be built the same way, and that really pleases me. But the Knicks mania, when they were first getting back into the postseason and Jalen Brunson's popping off and it all feels good, I can see why everyone always talks about the Knicks the way they do. That was fun, and it's sad that now we're realizing there's a very clear cap to this.
There's a very clear cap, and I am nervous, Mikey. I'm nervous about them not getting through the first round and the Pistons. And Mikey, and listen, Golic is right. It is nice to have the Pistons back. You are right, Gojo. I don't know who was yearning for the Pistons to be back, but I didn't think I was yearning for the Pistons to be back until you said it's good to have the Pistons back. How about that?
Stugotz, I watched like one March basketball game of the Pistons, like just randomly caught them on a night where I didn't have much to do. And I was like, oh, I'll take a bite.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this Cade Cunningham guy, pretty damn good. Jalen Duren, jacked. Love a basketball player that's built like a football player. And so they just have so many of the parts. Exciting point guard and guy that's built more like someone that played my sport to all of a sudden get me sucked back into this.
I watched the game in March as well, and I still didn't know Dennis Schroeder was on the Pistons. Was he on the team back in March?
Wasn't Dennis Schroeder the one that was the guy in the middle of that lightning rod conversation about U.S. basketball versus European basketball? Wasn't he the one that talked shit about the American players?
I believe so. Yes. But now he can say whatever he wants. I mean, he's a Nick killer.
Is there a better killer in sports than a Nick killer, given the stage, given the environment? Like, what other killers do we even have?
Wow. That's a great question. I don't have the answer, but I think despite whatever answers we give here, I think Nick Killer at Madison Square Garden is the one that you want. That's the killer that you want to be.
In baseball, there's Yankee killers. Like so there was Trot Nixon who had 17 home runs one year and he hit 8 of them against the Yankees. Like
you hate that guy, don't you?
Of course I do. His name is a verb.
How do you
Nixon.
feel? How do you feel about Jeter being the executive producer on a on a documentary of the Dodgers beating the Yankees in the World Series last year? What a traitor that guy is! I mean,
the Stugotz is strong and Derek Jeter is what that sounds like.
Oh, no doubt. Mikey A, as a Yankee fan, how do you feel about that?
I mean,
yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, like don't ruin this for us. Like my kid is just getting into baseball and I'm trying to tell him all the glory days, and now it's like, yeah, but then he went and was the president of the Marlins and now he's making documentaries about the Dodgers. Like don't ruin this for us. Don't ruin this.
Well, he's doing it.
I mean, it is crazy, and I don't know if this feels the same way or not, but as we're getting into this range where athletes are increasingly more likely to get into I should say the big time athletes, the ones that were the stars and made all the money and can kind of do whatever they want, less inclined to get into coaching or anything like that. And they want to own teams. They want to do these projects. Like, it's bizarre to me to see Tom Brady, the man who Jason Fitz, one of my good friends, loves the Raiders, and all he talks about is how Tom Brady and the Tuck rule ruined his life. And now that guy is helping man the ship in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Like, that feels wrong, and it feels like we're in line for more of that, more of the Jeter stuff now because of the range of shit these guys are involved in.
Yep. I'm all for Jeter making documentaries about the Dodgers. I really am. I think it's the boldest thing Derek Jeter has ever done in his life.
Honestly, it's the first time Jeter stepped out and done a little bit of the bad boy routine, and he kind of likes how it feels.
He does like it. I think you're right. Go jump. We have Todd McShay coming on. The NFL draft is this week. We were discussing on the Lebitard show earlier this week NBA camps, okay? Like alternate, viewing experiences, and you just have a camera on one guy, and that one guy is watching how the NBA playoffs go down. So we had Mike Malone watching the Nuggets, right, and just being outraged at Russell Westbrook. We had Riley watching the Golden State Warriors, a Riley cam. We have a Nico Harrison cam of him watching the Lakers and rooting against Luka. Of those cams, of the NBA cams, and there's a reason I'm asking you about this as it relates to the NFL draft. I'll get to that in a second. Which one of those NBA cams would you most enjoy?
Oh, I want to watch Nico just watch every Luka Doncic possession, because watching him at his press conference the other day when he was up there talking about how I knew Luka was important, but I didn't know maybe how important he was. Right. That man is cracking. Yes. Under all this pressure right now. He looks and sounds shook. And so to watch more of that, because he wears it. And if I want a cam, I want someone who's going to wear it. I feel like Nico's the guy.
So the Nico cam is the cam that I chose. It was my contribution when we were having that discussion, the Nico cam. If there was an NFL coach's cam or just an NFL cam for the NFL draft, Todd McShay will join us here in just a second to talk about the NFL draft. Who would you want a cam of? Would it be Bill Belichick just watching and laughing at all the selections of the NFL teams? Would it be Deion Sanders? Who would be a good NFL cam for the draft? I would watch Deion Sanders over the NFL draft.
I want to watch Bill, but only if it's with Jordan. I only want it if it's him and his girlfriend watching the draft together. And I don't need him mic'd up. I want her mic'd up. Because at this point, she is the markedly more interesting character in the play.
That's a good man. That's good. But watching Deion as his son drops and drops and drops, I imagine Deion like code calling teams.
I just imagine him and the excitement for Travis being at equal levels, because it feels like Travis is a member of the family now. Like, it's basically Travis Hunter Sanders at this point.
Right. You're right. Todd McShay is going to join us, the McShay Show.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
There we go. Good, man. I think you got to turn your camera around. I don't know, Mikey's doing something. You could just speak into a microphone and tell him what to do, Mikey. I mean,
I was trying not to.
I did it. Look at him.
He did it just fine. He plays charades.
Yes. It's the busiest week of the year for Todd McShay. The McShay Show is kicking ass. He is with the Ringer now. Used to be with ESPN. We had Mel on yesterday. We're having Mel on tomorrow, and Todd today. McShay, are you looking for how many interviews have you done so far? By the way, it seems like you've done 1,000 of them.
Yeah, it's been a week, man. It's been a week. It's good though. It's good to be back on the horse. Took the year off last year. Didn't feel right, and it's good to be back, and always good to join you. What's going on, man?
Are you headed to Green Bay?
Hell no. I was in Philly. I sat in the sideways rain in Chicago. I froze in Cleveland. I'm not doing that again. I'm out in LA. Enjoying it. We got studios out here with the Ringer and Spotify, and so yeah, we got in Sunday night, and we're here through the week until Monday.
Something against Green Bay? I mean, it's
no. I love Green Bay. I actually had one of the best trips of my life. We were there for the Leonard Fournette LSU Wisconsin game. I did the Lambeau Leap. I love the people in Green Bay. I love the food in Green Bay. This is not a Green Bay thing. It's 250,000 people converging on a place that has 130,000 human beings that live there. The hotels and the houses, and it was a headache. And we explored it. We were thinking about doing it, and it's why are we going to go sit outside to get some fans in the background and feel some energy when we could do it here and have a better work environment and be nice and warm.
Todd, I saw the reaction there, and I feel like we all go through this a bit where you got to do the city politics, because when it comes to all-star games, the draft, what city are you most afraid of pissing off when this stuff comes up?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel Columbus, you don't want to mess with the folks in Columbus. Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh people.
Well, Todd, because I was going to say the Midwest in general, like Indianapolis, I remember when all that conversation about people moving the combine came up, and the way the media army rose up to protect Indiana. Where are you at on Indianapolis as the perennial host of the combine? Is that something you want to see stay the same?
It's funny. When I was younger, I was like, I don't get it. Let's go. It's January. I live in Boston, so I'm like, let's go somewhere warm. We could do this down in Florida or out in California. But as the older I've gotten, I probably just old man stuff. But I get it. There's restaurants everywhere, tons of hotels. You can walk when it's freezing from one hotel to the next to the convention center. I get why it's there. It's a perfect place for it. It feels when you're there. It feels because if you did it in New York or did it in LA. Or even Chicago, it wouldn't feel like it's a big deal there. It feels big, but it's spread out enough. So I'm in favor of, but I can honestly say there's a point in time where I was like, I don't know. Nah, I'm good.
Are you ever going to get tired of the NFL draft?
No, man. I think I'm more fired up this year for some reason. And I know it's not the elite class like last year, but maybe it's just, got a new home and excited to be doing this and took a year, had to take a kind of a backseat for a year. So I'm thrilled to be back. I'm thrilled to do it. I don't know. It's just, you have your certain passions in life, right? And this is it. You get done with the tape, I print out my book, and now it's phone calls round the clock, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. You got getting on planes, landed here, more phone calls, hearing each team kind of trying to pry for information. What are you hearing? Who's going to go there? Text messages constantly. There's an adrenaline rush with this, nothing else in my life. And without it, it just feels empty,
What's your favorite part of that process you just described? What's the part that keeps you coming back every year?
Honestly, and it sounds cliche, and everyone's like, I'm a tape guy. I love the tape. But when you can finally put your phone down, turn your ringer off, and you don't have interviews to do. You don't have to write a mock draft. You don't have to prep for some kind of show. And you're like, I got 5 hours right now. Here's my list of players. And now, what's unbelievable? And talking to we had Nick Caserio. We talked to him. We're doing a GM series. It really is crazy to think of when we started in this. I think you'll appreciate this. It was those old beta tapes, And then and that was before your time. And then it went to the VHS.
Yeah.
And then DVD was like, whoa, like we're cooking now.
I thought it
And
ended
now,
at DVD. I thought it was going to end right there. I got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I know. But now it's like I've got this iPad over here, and it's got every single college game, right? And I can pull it up like 3 hours after the game. I can pull it up at any time in 30 seconds, and I can watch tape. And then the advancement that's gone beyond that, where I can watch, like, name any player. If I want to see Matthew Golden on routes from 11 to 20 yards, like the PFF Ultimate tied in with the with the tape that we have, Exos, and then became Catapult. It's pretty amazing the efficiency of watching tape now. So that you can just watch so much more. And so when I get those 4 or 5 hour blocks in a day, and I can actually sit down and watch these guys and stack one receiver after the next, and then finish it and be like, this is how I see it. Doesn't matter what I hear. Yes, if there's medical character effect, I don't care what anyone else is saying. I don't care what Kuiper's saying. I don't care what another GM is telling me. Like, this is my evaluation. Like, that's the best part to me.
I got to be honest. It feels like cheating, Gojo. I mean, it just does. I listen. You have to sift through a beta or a VHS tape, stitch that thing together, rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward. This will feel 10 to 12 yard routes. I mean, cheating.
I remember one time. So when Gary Horton got me in this business. He worked for Belichick a long time ago with like Lombardi and those guys. Saban was there in Cleveland. So when we started this thing, it was supposed to be like modeled after the 33rd personnel department. So we had a meeting with Belichick and Pioli. We had just moved our offices to Boston. We met down in Foxborough. And so we worked out kind of a deal so that they would send tape, right? And that was a big deal, trying to get tape. They sent this box of tapes. Gojo, you'll appreciate it. Like a huge box to our offices. And it was like a random game here, a random game there. And I'm like, this can't be our process. And to see where it's come from that is pretty wild.
I've heard a lot of stories of my dad talking about having to go down there and get all the old tapes and stuff from the basement and ESPN and all that stuff. So
yeah.
It's a totally different world with that now. So the process is more efficient here, but I'm most curious about this and your perspective as someone that's done this for so long and at all positions, because I came up playing offensive line. That's where my eyes are most trained. It's what I enjoy watching the most because I know it. And because in my mind, something happens every play that gives me feedback. Like you're involved meaningfully in every play. I go to watch receivers sometimes and I get bored and I realize I know why these guys have to have such attitudes because you go these long swaths without anything really happening. What's the hardest position for you to scout when it comes time to sit down for those 5 hour blocks?
Safeties. Because of exactly what you're saying. Like, you think it's bad with wide receivers, safeties can go like 3 series. If they're playing like a, single high, and you can see their movement skills and all that, but like they may not be involved because they're doing their job. Because like at the end of the day, you're the safety valve. And so that's the trickiest. That has always been the trickiest position. But now that you can do like the point of contact plays and the key plays, it's totally, even that position's become a lot easier to evaluate. But I hear you, like the guys in the trenches, like when you're watching the tight copy of the all 22, there's something every single play that you can take from.
Todd, you've been doing this a while. You've got a lot of great relationships. Everybody likes you, but you're on the phone with all these guys. And you got to be being lied to by some. How much are you being lied to? And how much do you know when you're being lied to? How much are you getting somebody saying something to you and you're like, this guy is totally full of shit?
Even this week. So like, all right. So there's a handful of guys that I know no matter what. They're like, it's a friendship. It's a bond. There won't be a lie. There may not be an answer, but there won't be a lie. Then there's this like second tier group of people that I talk to. And for the most part, it's above board. But all of a sudden I'll be talking about a player that I kind of know that they're interested in. And like, yeah, did you hear about the sickle cell thing? Or did you hear about, his dad? And I won't even, I'll like put the pen down for a minute, So I've kind of, but here's the thing that I've learned over time. And I think anyone who does this will appreciate. It's not the answers that are the indicator, it's the questions they ask you. Because why is this guy from team A picking it 13, 17, whatever it is, asking me a question about a player that's going to potentially go at 9? Or, there's certain like, oh, they're really, and then why is he now asking me 4 questions about interior defensive linemen? Oh, because they're looking in that, you know what I mean? Why is he not asked a single question about a wide receiver or tight end? So when you're done with the calls, I always kind of sit down and I'm like, all right, there was a series of questions in there that he's looking to get answers from me for. That's my indicator, you know?
I'm wondering who's lied the most over the years to Todd McShay. Like, are you keeping track?
I've got a couple bad ones. Maybe I'll write a book later. I've got a couple really bad ones, man. I do, and I just can't. I can't now. But yeah, there have been a couple where I'm like, you son of a bitch, you set me up, you know. And especially when I was younger, I took the bait more than hopefully I do now.
Well, when you feel like you can give us that information, I mean, or save it for a book, that's fine. I understand that. But if you want to give it to us,
I mean, I think you understand that, right?
Of course. I don't actually. Stanzik does, though. You can talk to him about it.
Hey, let's get to a couple things here. Because we got to run in a little bit, unfortunately.
I know you do.
There's some fascinating stuff. I just want to empty the bag for you a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Here's some stuff we're hearing, okay?
Yeah.
I think it could go chalk 1 through 4. Cam Ward's going 1. Travis Hunter, I believe, is going to be Cleveland like everybody else. I think it's going to be Abdul Carter at 3. And I do think it's going to be Will Campbell, even though I think everyone, including probably New England, knows that it's a little bit high on offensive tackles. Just about everyone I talk to in the league is like, the top offensive tackle this year is like the 5th best tackle from last year, okay? But they're offensive tackles, premium position, and they're going to go higher than they're graded because when it runs out like 6 deep, there's nobody else. So expect more tackles to go than probably they should. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is everyone in the world, including myself, had Mason Graham mocked to Jacksonville at 5, right? You get this new GM, James Gladstone, who came in from the Rams, really integral part of the scouting process there. They drafted 2 defensive tackles in Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner with 32 and 31-inch arm lengths, respectively. And now you've got Mason Graham. The only real knock on him is the shorter arms, right? So everyone kind of assumed for a while, and it's a big position of need. I'm now hearing, because it's Liam Cohen, his job is come in here and fix Trevor Lawrence. And it's going to be an offensive weapon with this pick. At first, everyone was like, well, Ashton Ginty, and there was a lot of buzz. And maybe it will be Ginty, okay? But there's a lot of smoke right now about Tet McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, who I am not the biggest fan of. I recognize the talent. He's 6'4", former volleyball player, goes up acrobatic catches, all those sorts of things. And so it got me thinking, why? And it didn't take long. Like, go back. What were the best 2 years of Trevor Lawrence's career dating back to college? 2018, 2019 at Clemson. He was on fire. He had 2 receivers in T. Higgins and Justin Ross, who combined for 4,000 receiving yards and 42 touchdowns in those 2 years, right? They did a lot of winning. And they're both 6'4". Tet's 6'4". They've had guys like Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, smaller receivers. His accuracy is can be good at times, but he's not like that pinpoint guy. Big target, catch radius. So if that happens, that throws kind of a wrench in all of this. Like, the earliest people thought Tet could go would be 12. So then you're sitting at pick 6 with the Jets, and everyone's saying Tyler Warren, right? I don't know that it's going to be
Raiders at 6.
No, I'm sorry. The Raiders at 6. Everyone was saying Ashton Ginty. So if Ginty doesn't go 5, then of course you with your Jets hat jumped right in with the 6. We'll get to the Jets at 7. So if Ginty doesn't go 5, then he's sitting there at 6, and everyone expected Ginty. I'm now hearing it's offensive tackle Armand Membu from Missouri, or one of these edge rushers. But the closer we get, the more I'm hearing Membu. So now you've got 2 offensive tackles that don't belong in the top 6 and a wide receiver that doesn't belong in the top 6. So now the Jets are sitting back, right? And Carolina and every team beyond that. The Saints at 9. The Bears especially at 10. And they're like, wait a second. So you're telling me these 2 tight ends that everyone in the league I've talked to, Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, are top 7 to 9 players on just about every board in the league. They're still available. Now we're at pick 7. We've got the edge rushers Jalen Walker's pushed down a little bit. Ashton Ginty, who's considered by a lot of teams in the league as the 3rd or 4th best player in this draft, still available. I'm hearing with the Jets, it may not be Tyler Warren. Maybe it could be Jalen Walker, edge rusher. Maybe it could be Jahdae Barron's a name I've heard. I'm not certain on that, but keep an eye on that. And also Mason Graham is still available. So you get all these players that are bumped down. So then you get to pick 8. They're going to take the best edge rusher available. It's going to be one of the 2 Georgia guys, okay? Then at 9, everyone's talking, Derek Carr out for the year, quarterback. It is not Shedeur Sanders at pick 9. It's not Shedeur Sanders at pick 40 for the Saints.
Wow.
Kellen Moore think of the last 3 OC jobs he's had. Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. Jackson Dart would be their guy, but it's not going to be at 9. They'll go edge rusher. They needed the next Cam Jordan. I think it could be Michael Williams there. So now this is the fascinating part to me. If you're a Bears fan and you get to pick 10 and Ashton Ginty's there and Tyler Warren's there and Mason Graham is there, like we could have 3 or 4 of the top 9 players in the draft still sitting there at 10, and they can only take one of them. So that's going to be the fascinating part of the draft, because I think picks 4, 5, and potentially 6 could go to players that truly, if you go like league consensus on grades, they don't match up with the 4th, 5th, and 6th best player in the draft.
That was a fucking amazing breakdown.
Wow.
Seriously.
Wow.
So I had to get it. I had to get it
Wow.
off my chest. We
I
can
could
talk
tell.
about beta tapes in Indianapolis
Right.
all we want, but I wouldn't have been happy with myself if we got off this call and I didn't get that to you.
No, because you know us well. We could do 25 minutes with you without talking about the draft at all or anything meaningful as it relates.
That's why I cut you off.
You grab control. Thank you. You're a host now. I mean, that's what
Thank
you do.
you. Yeah.
I'm learning.
Todd, of the guys that we just talked about there, who was your favorite of that group of players, whether it's Genty, Warren, Loveland? Who's the guy that if you were in that spot and you were in that GM chair for Chicago, you'd be banging on the table for?
That's a great question. Mason Graham and Ginty would be the highest 2 graded players. I just think about Ben Johnson. And honestly, I'm kind of torn because I've gotten Warren slightly ahead of Colston Loveland. But there's something inside of me just like, and I don't think they're going to do this, but could you imagine Ben Johnson cooking up in the lab? Like he's got Cole Kmet, brought in 3 offensive linemen, trying to get his young quarterback so talented, trying to get him right. And now you get 12 personnel with Kmet and Loveland, who are 2 very different players, and all the things he could do with that. And that kind of the security blankets in the middle of the field. Warren is more in that Gronk mold. Everyone does like the Gronk versus Kelsey, right? He's in and it's essentially a Y versus an F tight end, as you would know, Gojo. So I'd be fascinated by Loveland, but if you're sitting there and Genty's there, I'm also fascinated by like Jahmyr Gibbs, what he had in Detroit, and taking the pressure off the quarterback. So I don't know that you can go wrong with one of those 3 players. I think you would probably see Genty as the pick. But I love all those guys. And to think that they would all be available with potentially Mason Graham at 10, it's hard to comprehend at this point. That's probably why I'm jumping out of my skin.
We know you just have a few minutes left here. What's your evaluation of Cam Ward?
I like him a lot. The conversation would have started last year, I think, at QB4. That would be the earliest. But I can still like him a lot. QB6 last year had a hell of a rookie year, didn't he? And to be honest, outplayed what I thought he would do in Bo Nix. So I think he needs to be in the right spot with the right coach. And the more I study kind of Brian Callahan and the more I study the snaps that matter with Cam, like I do love the instincts, and I'm like, I hate saying the name Mahomes because then it becomes this viral clip.
Right.
But the one trait that is similar between these two, and Mahomes is at this level and Ward is at this level, is they have this innate like poise and instinct in the pocket that most guys, when they start to sense pressure, it's drift back, it's climb quickly and all that. They'll wait an extra tick It's kind of their secret sauce. Wait an extra tick so that the defender is that close. So the movement is just one sidestep or one adjust. He has that poise. But to bottle up, and this is the same thing with Mahomes coming out. He wasn't the polished product. To bottle up the clips that you see where he gets to the top of his drop, plants his foot down, drives the ball on time. He's an absolute sniper when he does those things. And Callahan sees that. And Callahan's been with Peyton Manning when he started his career. He's been with Matthew Stafford, right? He was there and developed Joe Burrow. They went to a Super Bowl together. So I think it's the right fit in Tennessee, and I think he's going to do really good things. It's going to take a minute. He's not there yet. And the organization, the roster's not there yet. But I do like the fit a lot with Brian Callahan and Cam Ward in Tennessee.
Where does Shador go? Does he fall all the way to 21?
If I had to bet now, and you told me that no one's trading up for him, yes. And the most recent information I've gotten, and we'll see, Mike Tomlin does really like him, according to everyone I've talked to that would be in the know. Pittsburgh is not beholden to taking a quarterback at 21. I think if Pittsburgh had its choice in the matter, they would trade back in the first round and try to recoup a pick. They gave up their second round pick for DK. I'm told everyone said that's the floor for Shador. And I don't disagree necessarily, but I will say, according to what I'm hearing, it's a softer floor than Shador's camp probably wants to hear about. And if it's not 21, where's he going? And the more important thing is, I don't know how it's going to play out in the Giants building. But there are some people on the scouting side, the personnel department side, that really want Shador. By all accounts, it's not going to be at 3, but they would like to maybe move up and go get him. Unfortunately for them, the guy in the building who I would trust the most, and one of like less than 15 people in the league, I'd put him in a list of about 15 people in the league, maybe less, that I trust the most when it comes to quarterbacks and offensive minds, is the head coach, Brian Daboll. And if I don't care if the quarterback outlasts my head coach. I'm going to lean on my head coach, who's one of like a handful of guys in the league that truly understands that position, how to develop it, and what to look for. And I'm told that, and I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. You can go back and look. If Brian Daboll should be a Jackson Dart guy, and I'm now starting to hear that Brian Daboll's not necessarily a Shador guy, and is more of a Jackson Dart guy. And the same thing as I just told you, Kellen Moore in New Orleans. So you've got two teams at 34 in the Giants and 40 in New Orleans that may, if my information is correct, and just my football sense too, be interested in Jackson Dart. So where do they go trade up for him late in the first? Is it trying to find that spot to go up late in the first? Maybe it's Minnesota. Maybe it's Pittsburgh, right? But that's not Shador.
Right.
And Cleveland's sitting there at 33. I don't know. I still think there's a good shot he could go 21 to Pittsburgh. But if he gets to 21 and we're on the clock, I can't sit here and tell you, oh, this is going to be Shador. I don't know that for sure.
And you're flatly telling us it's not going to be the Saints.
Yes.
Wow. He's going to be waiting a while, man. It's
yeah, I mean, it
crazy.
only takes one. You know, there's always, you know, like we didn't know about the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. We didn't know about Atlanta and Penix. So like it only takes one team kind of sneaking around the chicken coop, waiting and flying up there to go get him. But right now, I can't identify that team that is so eager that they would move back into the first to go get him.
I'm going to take your word that you said that a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago. We're not going to have Mikey listen to the tape, okay? We're not going to go back and find it, all right? I mean, I trust
fine.
you, Todd.
We believe you.
I
believe you. Yeah.
Send me the beta tape.
Yeah, it's not that you trust me, Stugotz. It's too damn lazy to go do it.
Well, listen, I would have Mikey do it, but I don't want to. Then I have to pay him, and I don't want to do that. So
it's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Check out the McShay Show. He's with the Ringer. What are you doing draft night? Promote what you're doing on draft night. You doing anything? You're just sitting back and watching.
Yeah, I'm sitting back and watching. Stugotz. Who are you talking to? Come on, man.
I thought
The
this whole new like Todd McShay, cathartic. I'm not going to Green Bay, bleep Green Bay. I got 5 hours. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this thing.
I like how you just put bleep Green Bay in his mouth. He never said that.
He hates the place.
Bleep the weather. Bleep the weather. Come on, man. The McShay Show. We're live 1 hour before.
Yes.
Live streaming the whole night. I want all of your audience to come join us. We want 100,000 people. Fine, put a network on in the background and all that. But like, we got phones, we got iPads, whatever you got to do, get a second screen. But we're going to be on the entire night, first night of the draft. We're going to live stream, and then the second night we're doing the second round, and then Saturday we're invading Russillo's house. You'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
I texted him and I was like, listen, like The Town, the movie. I was like, you can't ask me, what we're about to go do. Like, we're probably gonna have to hurt some people. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I need you to answer whose car are we taking. And so he called me back and he's like, all right, whose car are we taking? I was like, we're taking over your house. We're invading his house on Saturday. I'm going to try to get Russillo to run a 40. I think he wants to do the 225 bench reps instead. We're going to review the whole draft from 3 p.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. Kind of just having a blast in Russillo's man cave.
I imagine Russillo having nothing but alcohol and beer in that house. No furniture.
And protein bars, right? Protein bars.
And a bench press. When you said that, I was like, of course he's got the space for all of this in that house.
I said, I've been telling people I'm going to try to get you to run 40. He's like, yeah, I heard. And he's like, F you, because I heard you said I'm going to run a 6 flat. He goes, so maybe I will do it. He goes, but I do have a squat rack here, and we can put up 225. I'm like, yeah, that translates.
You got me in off that alone. I'm ready to go now.
So am I. All right, we'll check it out. We're happy for you, man. The podcast is doing great. He'll be live an hour before the draft. He'll take you through the NFL draft. He is the best. He is Todd McShay. Thank you, buddy. You're a new person. I got to tell
Appreciate
you.
I mean,
you have never motherfucked anyone, and now you told the whole city of Green Bay to go fuck themselves. Incredible.
Oh gosh, would you get out of here? I'm from hanging out. Goodbye.
See you, Todd.
See you, buddy. Was that unfair?
Can I just say, he looks a lot like Russillo now too.
He does. Yeah.
There's a little bit of that. But let me tell you, the least surprising thing in the world is him being able to get Russillo, like that little bit of challenge there, and now Ryan immediately ready to go. That all tracks. I would kill to see it. As someone that's worked out in the same gym as Ryan Russillo a few times, when we were all out in the East Coast at ESPN, there's like one gym that, everyone kind of went to in West Hartford, and I'd see Russillo in there all the time, and the dude's built, and the dude can move some weight. I want to see him get under 225 and see what we got under the hood here. I need this.
Yes, no one loves a sports radio challenge like Ryan Russillo. I mean...
Well, and there are very few people in our industry physically capable of doing this in the way that Ryan is at this point in time.
It's Russillo and Mikey C. I mean...
That's it.
The best part about Russillo is he knows he's being played with that challenge. He doesn't care. He's going to bite into it. He doesn't care. You challenge me, I'm going to do it. And he knows he's being bit. He knows he's being baited.
Well, this is the Mike Tomlin school of press conferences. Mike Tomlin always talked about, he's like, I don't care what question I'm being asked. I know what information I want to get out to our fan base, our organization, our players. And with Ryan, it's the same way. It's, hey, you can ask me to do the 40 or any of this stuff. I want to get under the bench press bar and show you guys what I'm about here. So he's playing the 4D chess with this to get exactly what he wants out into the universe, and I love it.
So you have McShay now working at the Ringer, living out in L.A., and he is morphed into Ryan Russillo. Is that what you're accusing him of? Like he physically looks like Russillo?
I don't know. It's just maybe it was the angle or the lighting there, or maybe it's because I have that like Ringer association. But no, it's cool to see Todd back doing this too. Like you said, wasn't around last year for it, but hearing him out, I heard him talking about Mel a little bit in this draft cycle. It just feels right.
Yes.
Like for better or for worse, they are always going to be just in tandem and rotation. And so if I know that Mel Kiper and Todd McShay are both covering the draft, the world feels a little more in balance.
He dropped that with confidence, by the way. Saints not taking Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
Like that guy, whoever was texting him back was not lying to Todd McShay,
That's that'll be the one to watch, right? I know a lot of people are starting to talk about Tyler Shuck a little more. There's some people that are curious because Jalen Milroe from Alabama is going to the draft, and people are wondering if that means he knows something or believes he's going higher than that. But the story everyone's going to be watching is if we get out of the top 5 and all of a sudden, really 9 will be the spot. If we get past 9 and there's no Shedeur Sanders movement, that's going to be a far cry from a guy who, listen, between him and the conversation his dad about going, we're coming back to go number 1 overall. They've made no bones about their desire to do that. I know Deion softened some lately through the draft process and has been a little, played the game a little bit more, but that's what everyone's going to be queued up watching.
We're talking about Shedeur falling in the draft, but what if he's not even the second quarterback taken?
That's
like
crazy
how
one.
much of a chip is going to go on his
Possibility.
shoulder there.
Yes.
Right. Obviously, it's a possibility. This is the kind of draft where there's such a dichotomy of people's opinions of these quarterbacks that you could see somebody being like, listen, we need a quarterback, but I just don't want that skill set. I want that skill set.
It's so crazy. Like Charlie Weiss is my first head coach at Notre Dame. His son, Charlie Jr., has been the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss for a while now and has worked with Jackson Dart. And Charlie Sr. has been, since the end of the fall, telling anyone who will listen, Jackson Dart's a first-round quarterback. Jackson Dart's going to be a guy. I had a former first-round, top 10 overall quarterback come up to me the other day just randomly, and we were talking about quarterbacks in the draft. Jackson Dart was the first name that he brought up. So I've been slower to the Jackson Dart party than most, but it does seem that a lot of people who have been around the league or a lot of people in there now are kind of into that skill set. You're right.
Stugotz, did you catch that flex? How many top 10 overall pick quarterbacks just walk up to you to talk to you about their picks?
Not a one.
I don't get that too many times.
Yeah,
I want to be you, Mike Golic Jr. I want to be you.
You guys still want the cam with Belichick and his girlfriend, or you want the Deion Sanders cam? I mean, come on.
I still want the Jordan Hudson cam, man. I really think that she's in her moment right now. She's got the juice for the Deion's. We see Deion everywhere. We're right. Overexposed on Deion. We need more Jordan.
I'm gonna feel bad for Shedeur though if he's yeah. I feel bad for any guy who just sits there and slides and slides and slides, and dad's getting upset and he's getting upset. It's an emotional night. I feel badly for him, but listen, at least he got his jersey retired. I mean,
this could be his villain origin story.
And you know what? Honestly, because I'm with you, Stugotz. He's been so oft talked about for his personality and for the association with Deion and all these things that aren't football. And some of it is what you invite when you make your program a reality television show, the way Deion wanted to do with Colorado. Shedeur certainly doesn't lack confidence, which I'd expect for someone who's the son of the greatest defensive back to ever play football. But he's still a human being getting ready to go through this. He's had this dream since he was a little kid. He's on the cusp of it. And if he slides, that's going to suck. But it is always that reminder that the further back you get, the better situation you're usually sliding into. Yeah. And yeah, being a top 5 pick is great, and having a 1 next to your name is something that's going to give you more opportunities than most. But man, you slide back and all of a sudden wind up in these situations like we saw Jackson Dart a while back, mocked to like the Rams at the end of the first round. Yeah, being a top 5 pick would have been great. Being set up in an organization that is healthy, has the structure around you to help make you successful, has one of the it coaches in the league that you get from the playoff teams further back into the back end of the first round or the early second round, it can end up being a blessing. And it won't feel like that on draft night if he falls, but it could end up being a great thing that happens to your career without you realizing it at the time.
We'll get out of here in a second, but if you were just drafting on name alone, and I'm talking all time here, right? Just name alone, you couldn't watch any beta, you couldn't watch any VHS tape, you couldn't watch no DVDs, okay? Just drafting on name alone, you would take Jackson Dart number 1 overall, right?
Built in the lab to be a great quarterback name. No question. Run sprinting to the podium, 1-1 to take that guy 1 overall.
Absolutely.
You're not taking your full 15 minutes?
Nope. Not even thinking about it. It's just however long it takes me to write Dart and remember that. Is it an XS Jackson in the Dart, or is it just an X Jackson?
I think it's an XS.
Gotta look it up.
Yes,
now.
it is an XS. So however long it takes me to probably get that wrong the first time, have to erase it, and then put the S in the Jackson. That is how long it takes me to get to the podium if we're drafting just off name.
Mikey, is there another name, or are you going Jackson Dart? That's it. It's
Jackson Dart's number 1, but if I'm picking 2, I probably go with a Colt. Colt McCoy, Colt Brennan. I probably go with
Wow.
one of those guys.
Wow.
That's probably my number 2 pick.
How long before we get to Arch Manning? I mean,
Oh, Arch Manning might be an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Cam,
Sneak. Yeah.
Cam Ward's up there, by the way. I mean, he is.
Cam
Just the
Ward.
name alone, Cam Ward. I like that.
It's a good quarterback name. I'm a big the kid that's going to be the starter at Ohio State this year, Julian Sayin. That'll register with some anime people, but that one for me immediately jumps off the page as good quarterback name.
Gojo, we appreciate you doing this, man. That was fun. The draft is this week. Thanks to Todd McShay for joining us. Dennis Schroeder is a Piston.
Nick Killer.
I thought he retired 5 years ago. I mean,